Tess Gerritsen is not just one of Maine's most acclaimed and successful crime novelists. She is one of America's most successful. She has a new novel out. It's called The Shadow Friends, and she is back with us on 207. Thanks for coming in. It's good to see you.
It's always good to see you, Rob.
I did not know until you and I started talking a few minutes ago before we came into the studio that you write your first drafts with a pen and paper?
I do. I've tried composing in front of a screen, but I think I've become a perfectionist if I see my words on the screen and I want to keep editing, which means I never get forward in the story.
This makes you a rare breed. I know that you talk with other writers and you hang out with them and so forth, but you're the only one you know who still does that, right?
Yeah, maybe it's my age, or maybe, I'm an old dog. You can't teach me new tricks, but I've been comfortable with pen and paper all my life. I can type really fast, and that's not the problem, but it's just that editor cap goes on when I see the screen.
And it's not as if you are not prolific. I counted the number of books at the beginning of this one. Is this number 32 or 33? Somewhere in there?
Around there. I've lost count, yeah.
And you've been writing for 40 years now.
Yes.
How does that feel? When you stop and think about that, what runs through your head about 4 decades of writing?
I guess I'm just persistent. I can't stop. And it's always the stories come to me and I want to tell them, and characters come to me and I want to give them their voice, and it just never stops, this flow of characters talking to me.
Well, the story in The Shadow Friends this book is the third in a series about the Martini Club. What is the Martini Club?
They are 5 retired spies who are living in a quiet town in Maine. And it is a reflection of the reality of Maine. Anybody who has been in the state long enough knows that we do have a lot of retired intelligence professionals.
Particularly in the Camden area where you live, there are a lot of retired spies, there are a lot of retired State Department people, there are a lot of people who really know the worlds of diplomacy and national security, and you've gotten to know some of these folks.
Yeah, well, you know what is really enriching about being in the Mid-Coast is that you do rub shoulders with people who have an experience of the world, and then every year there is the Camden Conference, which has been going on for almost 40 years, and was started by retired CIA and State Department. What is the quick premise that you can give me of what happens in this book? It focuses on 2 of my 5 spies. Ingrid, she was a covert operative during her career, and she's married to Lloyd, who was an analyst who spent most of his career behind a desk. And they're happily married. But then a man walks back into Ingrid's life. He was a spy. He was also her former lover. And he lures her back into the field in a dangerous operation. Well, what is poor Lloyd going to do? He wants to keep his marriage alive and safe. So he has to find the inner hero. He's an ultimate beta male. And I think what I love telling the story, why I love telling the story, was to watch what Lloyd becomes. How far will he go to save his marriage? Is character what really is the most satisfying thing to you to create? Yes, I mean, this story is about Russian assassinations, it's about polonium, but at its heart, it's about a marriage and about 2 people who do love each other but are faced with temptation. I guess the overall theme is we're never too old to be tempted. True, very true. You were trained as a physician and you started out with great success writing medical thrillers. When you move into the world of spies and spycraft, are you a little bit out of your comfort zone? Oh, absolutely. I really am. But luckily, spies, a lot of them have written memoirs, which is surprising to me. And I was really most interested in the psychology of who becomes a spy. Why do they go into this field? What makes them different from all the rest of us? And that was what I was trying to capture in these books. You write at the end of this book that when you were younger, that you thought that if you kept writing novels, it would get easier, and it turns out that has not been the case. No, I think it becomes harder because you're always trying to top yourself, be better than your last book, and you're always trying to keep your readership entertained. And they're not easy to entertain sometimes. But you still keep having the ideas. The ideas keep bubbling up. Yes, and the characters keep talking to me. The whole series was started because a character named Maggie Bird just said to me one day, "I'm not the woman I used to be." And that started the whole series because I wanted to know who she used to be and why did she sound so sad. Clearly you're still having fun with it, and so are your readers.
Tess Gerritsen, thank you so much. A pleasure, as always, to have you here on 207. The name of Tess Gerritsen's new book is The Shadow Friends. If you'd like more information about the book or the author, just head to the 207 section of our News Center Maine app or website. Stick around, quick break, and we're going to be right back.